Yes, we are on air.
So are we supposed to be here in this one,
We're
but the
we're
people
we're
on the
supposed
other
to be
one
here,
where the
yeah.
40 people are? Huh?
Not sure. I mean, it's not 40 people. The people that said they're coming was 12 or 15 or something like that. So I'm
Okay.
muting now. I'm muting now. You, Kerry. So we can get started. So, hello. Thanks for being here. So this is the second one, Darker Hangout. Right. We're trying to see how this works, and it's all about figuring out what's happening. Um, I think it's going to be all right, and we're going to do this every month. So I'm pretty sure the learning curve is going to be better and better. So this chat is about a topic that everybody is concerned, I guess. It's about productivity. If you were watching a cat video during the last 12 hours, then you need to be in this on this call, because watching cat videos doesn't add anything else but wasted time, procrastination, guilt, and regrets, and suicidal tendencies and stuff like that. Yeah, and actually, I'm going to post a picture of my new Picasso mustache. This is going to be also part of the procrastination. If you haven't noticed that, really good, you're being productive. If you have and you make a compliment, that means that you are procrastinating. So I would like to talk with you about these topics, about good habits, about bad habits, what works for you, why you procrastinate, how bad you feel. So just take it out, just express it and share it with the world. And I want to see whether we can find out some good tactics, from each other's experience on that. Um, I must have been confused. Why are you confused? All right. So let's get started. First of all, I will have to say that the next essay, what I'm writing right now, I'm finished with it, is about productivity. And during the last month, I've been thinking about it. I think it was Gregory that mentioned something about good habits, bad habits. That was a good idea. So I thought, everybody's struggling with that. I'm pretty sure everybody's struggling with that. Why not start a project myself where for a month I'll be waking up at 6 o'clock every morning, start working at 7, and then after 3 hours and a half, 1 hour and a half of work, 30 minutes break, 1 hour and a half of work. What if I complete my work for the day at 10:30? So all the mandatory work is completed by 10:30. And then what if I'm free for the rest of the day? How's it going to feel? Is it going to be good? Is it worth going for? Can we do that? It's going to be, then we have a lot of time for making music and meeting friends and drinking coffee and eating and drinking coffee and drinking coffee. So I thought I should do that. I started doing it. I'm on the 4th week. On Monday, I'm going on the 4th week, and it's going perfect, totally perfect. So I thought that is the topic for Duggar Hangouts, and that's the essay I'm going to write about. So first of all, I want to start asking you a simple question, and we'll start with Gregory. Unmute yourself, Gregory, and you give us an answer. How do you feel about your own productivity levels? And the answer, let's have it like 5 minutes so everybody can talk, and then we can go to the next thing. So how do you feel about your productivity levels?
Well, I appreciate that. First of all, Tommy, thank you for taking my suggestion. It means a lot. I feel like they've gotten better because I actually read a book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and
I agree.
Stephen Pressfield's a writer that struggled with just doing the work and sitting down and focusing on just getting stuff accomplished. And he called it resistance with a capital R, just an unknown, unexplainable, unrationalized procrastination that doesn't make any sense. And he equates it to fear of failure, fear of moving forward. And I think as an artist, it's difficult to really truly put yourself kind of out there and expose yourself. So it's like a subconscious thing that you struggle with. So I was dealing with that a lot too, and I read that book, and it kind of it framed it in a way that I was able to understand as a creative person, to where I don't want fear to allow me to fail and allow other people for me to contribute to the lives of other people. I don't want to let fear hold me back. from doing that. So I've been really working hard on making sure that anytime I'm afraid of something, that means I need to do it. Because if I'm scared of it, it means this is the direction I need to go.
So let me quickly ask you, Gregory, so for you, procrastinating means being afraid. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. At least that's how I've been looking at it, and that's been helping me kind of kick it in the ass, I suppose. But it's just, I think that procrastination is just a habit, I suppose. So I just had to overcome that habit of procrastinating.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. I really like it. So procrastination, actually the fear is, I have the same feeling. I wake up in the morning and I don't want to wake up. I just want to stay.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do, and when I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, and yeah, I start feeling afraid, like I want to stay there in the bed being cozy and stuff. Okay, thank you. What about John? Can you mute yourself now, Gregory, so he doesn't switch screens? And John, how do you feel about your own productivity levels?
Hi, Tommy. Boy, well, I feel good this morning because I'm out in California and I got up at 6 a.m. to be here, and so this is my day one of getting up at six in the morning.
Good.
Yeah, I really agree with what Gregory said. There's a resistance to get moving on the things that you really need to get moving on, and you end up, or I end up, when I procrastinate, I'm not sitting on the couch, of course, and I don't think that's what any of us do as creatives. We're really driven. I am. I'm really always doing something, but a lot of times it's off in a direction that's not. Not what I really need to be doing, and I agree with what Gregory said. A lot of times, what you're supposed to be doing is causing you the most anxiety. So I totally agree with that. One thing I've been doing, and my sleep schedule is crazy. I really live on a different planet. I think I've told you this before, Tommy, where I will stay awake for 24 hours and then maybe sleep for 8 to 10 hours and then stay up. And it just kind of it revolves around like an orbit around the normal world. And, and that's a bad habit, and that's something that I'm really, it's convenient for me because I have lots of time for solitude and work, but so that's something that that's a habit I'm trying to break, and actually I'm inspired by what you're doing, Tommy, which is, get up early and get your difficult work or that work you're resistant to done early, and then you have the freedom for the rest of the day to work on your creative work or your the more what do you call it, like the kind of the more right-brained kind of things, and social. And I don't know, really in a nutshell, what I do is I use Evernote for reference. I use Trello for project, kind of bigger projects. I use Trello. So even like I've got a live show coming up next weekend, and I'm such a productivity freak, I guess, or just I've got to put it down in something structured. And so I use Trello, and I set up my little to-do lists and move the thing along the board that way. And that's kind of the main tools I use for the business side of what I do, or planning out any kind of project, not just music. The main thing for me lately is I've really been making time, even along with my crazy schedule, to do, in the morning I have a morning routine. And now it's lasting about 2 hours, but it includes, making my coffee and that kind of thing, but then doing yoga and meditating. And my meditating time has been expanding to be about 45 minutes. So I you probably, that Tim Ferriss. I kind of got that idea from him about, not checking your email or getting online or doing anything that's going to be other people's what other people want from you for the first couple hours of your day. So that's an interesting way, because it's like, instead of jumping up and getting to work and getting productive, I kind of get my mind in order early in the day. And I'm someone who I suffer from anxiety, and I try not to label myself, but I mean, it's just a creative. I've got a lot of anxiety and things I feel like I need to sort out in my mind before I kind of get going with my day. So that actually is kind of counterintuitive, but being, not doing anything, except for the consciousness in the morning, that really helps me be productive later in the day. And that's about all I have to say about that. I said, can everybody hear me?
Looks like we might have lost Tommy.
Ah, okay. Tommy
I don't see him in the.
Oh, good.
Maybe we should invite him again.
Yeah.
We could get that going, though, I guess. Who wants to talk next? Suppose I could invite him. I don't want to take control of anything here or anything.
Go ahead. Somebody should, might as well. We'll go, go next.
Does anybody want to go next?
Oh, that's Gregory talking. Let's see. I'm getting a new message here. Did I just get kicked out? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Oh, you can? Okay, good. There he is.
Am I back?
Yeah, you are back.
Oh gosh, that's amazing. Is there anybody missing? Where is Gregory?
He might have gone to find you.
I don't know what happened. Google.
We didn't know what to do without our leader.
Really? Okay. At least.
Well, no, we were trying to continue without you, but we want you to hear what we have to say.
Okay, keep going. Whatever you were doing, keep going. I was just trying to understand what happened with Google and just kicked me out. Okay, cool.
Strange.
All right.
Well,
I want to go next.
Yeah.
Keep going. I mean, whatever you were doing, just keep going. I don't want to discontinue.
No, I'm done. I just shared my ideas about doing meditating in the morning, and how that really helps me be productive later in the day.
I listened to the whole thing. Yeah. Well done, John. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's always good to get feedback.
Kerry wants to say something. So yes, Kerry, go ahead. Can you unmute yourself first?
I just did. Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Yay! Yeah, Google is weird stuff with the Hangouts. So the whole meditation in the morning thing is a great idea. I've been going through a lot of changes with the fact that I was running around the country for 4 months, and then now I've come back to Boston. And I'm sort of re-establishing a base and a new schedule and new routines. So as you can see, I'm sort of like just moving in here. It's just crazy.
Creative. I like it.
Crazy. But it's great. I had a music room now, and it's like I have a place to do my stuff instead of just being in a van. And I got a new job, so everything is starting out with a new routine. So this is a great time in my life to actually have this conversation with you folks about productivity. And it's interesting that the Art of War that Gregory mentioned by Stephen Pressfield, I don't remember the name of the person who wrote the book that changed my life in that way about overcoming productive anxiety or just doing anything different in your life that you care so much about that it scares the daylights out of you. But it's called what is it called? Something just popped up on the screen and made me forget what I was saying.
No worries. I'm trying to capture, like, moments of the Hangout.
Capture moments, capture the moment. It's called. It's about the Kaizen Way. It's one small step can change your life. Basically, it's a book, and it's called the Kaizen Way, and it's about productivity. And the original concept of Kaizen was developed by a fellow to help the automobile industry in Japan. Not the automobile industry, but I think post-war Japan, if I remember correctly. But the Kaizen Way is basically taking one small step at a time towards a goal. You have a much larger goal that you want to achieve, but sometimes it's like getting a PhD. If you're in school, you just go, oh my God, I can never do that. Why do I even start? It's so overwhelming. But what's the smallest, most comfortable step that you can take at this moment to achieve that goal? And just do it. It could be like when I started playing guitar again. I had given up music for many years and gone back to school and all this stuff, and basically did the Kaizen Way to get a degree without knowing it, because it's scary stuff. But I decided I wanted to play guitar again, and I was never very good at it because I'm basically a singer. So I said, well, either I'm going to sell these guitars because I need money, or I'm going to play them. So I took my guitar out and I put it on a stand, and I just sat it there. And it sat there for a week with, I dusted it off, and I didn't even tune the damn thing. But I was so anxious about even going down that road and saying, I'll never be good enough, and God, I suck. And so about a week later, I tuned it, and then a little while later, I go, what were those chords again? And those basic chords, and I started doing a couple of basic chords, and my fingers hurt, and the note, and I just kept moving and moving and moving the line and doing one little tiny thing more. And I can't play that song. What can I play? And then not even giving myself any other reason to do it except because I love music. And then slowly I decided I gotta need people, because otherwise I'll never get anywhere. I mean, it's just an example. So that's one thing that really I find it helps to increase my productivity on a whole, is realizing that you don't have to eat the whole elephant. It just bites at a time.
So that is just to make a quick recap of what you said, a takeaway. It's amazing. Just identify the next step, the very next step, no matter how small it is, and take action. By taking action, you're beating procrastination one step at a time. A step that you're comfortable with, and then eventually you start pushing the boundaries and increasing, this momentum. Well, at some point you become very productive because you've done all these small steps before and you've built a foundation. Is that correct?
But there's always you're always overcoming. Well, at least I am, and I think that John got into this too. That the concept and Gregory of you can get stymied by your own fears and anxieties about the work itself, and that you end up having to just sort of always regroup around that. Whereas if you do the one small thing that's comfortable at that moment, you can do that repeatedly on a daily basis, and you can definitely you can make great strides, and you look back and go, well, geez, look at what I've accomplished, and it helps you to more momentum. So that's one small snapshot of it, anyway. Just the getting started bit.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I could talk for hours. I'm going to be quiet now.
Yeah, no worries. So Michael, give us your point of view on productivity and procrastination. How does it work for you?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good. Well, procrastination, I would say I'm very guilty of it. That's number one, because it happens sometimes. I just feel like, okay, that reminds me of a song. I just don't feel like doing anything. Was it? I don't know. Anyway, so this procrastination of a thing is something that have affected me for a while, but I get around it somehow. First of all, the realities of life kind of is the first thing that makes me realize that I just have to do something. My current status is not the kind of status you want to be in and feel comfortable with, you know. So that alone gets me going. You know, you don't have money in your pocket. You have a lot of responsibilities, you know, financially and, you know, otherwise. And all that put together just give you a kick, and I just have to do something. So that alone is good. It's not a good situation to be in. At the same time, it's good because it helps me, keeps me going. Yes, that's one. Secondly, there's I like to sometimes have my schedule now written, you know, and then I'll take it and I go along as I try to get things done every day. But one area where I kind of fall short is there are too many distractions for me, you know. The moment I'm on my computer, okay, I want to get things done. Facebook is popping up here, and there's one, you know, website here that gets me distracted and all of that. I wish there were no Facebook sometimes. But yeah, this happens, and then I get distracted. And by the time I know it, wow, 1 hour, 2 hours, I've wasted that precious time that I would have used to do something more important. So distraction sometimes, especially online, it's something that, you know, gets me off. I try to control myself. Sometimes I just put off any form of distraction, social media, whatever, and then focus on what I need to do. So basically, that has been very helpful whenever I do that. My time of my most productive time, I would say, is late at night usually. It's kind of, you know, cozy and, you know, calm. I don't get a lot of distractions, and of late I've been getting much out of working at night, and it's been very helpful for me. I go to bed late, I wake up late, but then I know that I have the day to, you know, go anywhere I need to go, and then when I come back, I'm just seated on my computer and you know, I'm working on for the rest of the day. So basically, that's how my, you know, work scheduling and productivity has been like. Yeah, many times I do say, oh, I'll get it done. I don't get it done eventually. I'm still trying to work my way out of, you know, having some more ways to actually become more productive aside from what I already have. That's why I'm here anyway.
This is great. You just mentioned something that I really loved. Is about restrictions. So you beat procrastination by restricting yourself.
Yes.
So when there is so many things that you could do, and when you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of time and there is pressure and responsibilities, you beat procrastination by actually feeling this restriction as a motivating power to keep going. So you know that you don't have a lot of choices, basically. So you have to keep going and keep doing things that are the right things at the moment.
Exactly.
This is a great way of beating procrastination. The other thing that you mentioned is about finding your productive time. For example, what you're doing is totally the opposite of what I'm doing. I wake up in the morning because exactly for the same reason. There's no distractions. So who is awake at 6 o'clock in the morning? Nobody really. Who's going to reply on social media? Nobody really. So what I do is I wake up at 6, I start working at 7. By 10:30, most people start waking up and using social media. I'm done with the work that I have to do, so there is no distraction at all. I'm even hosting a friend at the moment. In the morning, when he wakes up, I don't even talk to him. Till 10:30, I talk with nobody. I check no emails, no social media, no nothing. And this is a great way, and I find my creative time in the evening. When I start getting tired, I start making connections of things and making crazy thoughts. And that's when I start making better music. In the morning, I'm all like, yeah, let's see what I need to do. And this is my little hack. I don't know if you see it upside down or reversely or something. It's the way that I just write down the tasks that I have to do for the day. You know, every box is half an hour of work. And I'm going to share this template, by the way, in VSA, so you can download it, cut it, and create a little book like this. But this is my way of writing down my schedule and what I have to do every day. Thank you, Michael. That is amazing. I think many people resonate with that. What about Sarah? Sarah, how is it? Michael, if you can mute yourself now. Sarah, how is it working with you in terms of procrastination and productivity. What are your tips?
Oh God. Okay. Well, as you saw, I got a kid. I've got 2 kids, in fact. So I couldn't like just switch off from 6 till 10:30. That's not happening because there's a school run and stuff like that. You can't. But as you know, I've got loads of projects running at the same time, including a freelance job online. So sometimes I spend the same amount of time doing like a very small job, and it can take up to like 5 hours when it should take only half an hour. So that's one of the things that really annoys me, and I can do my work best when someone's actually like really pressuring me.
Mm-hmm.
So like if it's near the deadline, I can do the same work that I normally do in like half an hour. In like 5 hours, I can do it in half an hour. So that I need to find a way of putting pressure on earlier so I can get it out of the way, or changing my schedule in some way. So, and the other thing I've been thinking about while everyone's talking was that I always focus on too many things at the same time. So I need to think about one project at the same time, because often I'll be typing my translation or something, and then I'll be thinking, oh, I need to work on my video project. Oh my God, I've got to write this song. And then I try and do 20 things at the same time, and none of them get done properly. So yeah, I think for me it's more about discipline and also saying no a lot. Saying no to people that I can't help them with their projects and things like that. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I think it's something that most people will feel very familiar with, in terms of what do I do next and how do I stop multitasking when I don't have to. I can share like this tactic with you, and it works really great. So I have a list of, I start filtering things. Like I have a big list of tasks. What do I want to accomplish by the end of the month? I write it down. I make sure it's not a lot of things, because otherwise I'll feel the pressure every day, like, oh, I have to do this and do this. What is the absolutely essential goals that I need to set for the month? So something realistic. And the more you grow, the more you realize that this is not needed at the moment. So I make a list of things. Then I start breaking them down. I make a list of things that are the activities I have to do to achieve these goals, plus another list with the activities that I have to do every day, every week to keep going what I already have in line, right? So the new goals plus what is already going, the essential activities. And now that I have all of the activities more or less for the rest of the month, I start allocating them and setting deadlines. So, but you can beat the deadline by setting your own deadline. So you can say that, all right, this client wants me to bring this. Since you're a freelance translator, my client wants me to bring this by Saturday. I'm going to set a deadline for Wednesday. So I know that this is how I'm going to beat the procrastination, right? And then you start allocating things. You have a monthly schedule, and you're like, this a deadline, this a deadline, this a deadline, and then you start allocating tasks.
It's disappeared again.
I don't have an iPhone, so it's a dictaphone. I take the dictaphone, I start documenting my thoughts about the day, and then the last thing is I start allocating tasks. So this now it's Sunday. Now this is the last day, what I did today, and then for the next week, for week number 4, I'm going to create a new one where I'm going to start writing down all of the tasks for the rest of the week, so that I know before I sleep, I prime myself to think of specific tasks. So when I wake up, I'm not like wondering what should I do now. I have to do this, and I know I check it out. The first thing I do in the morning, like do that. If you do that in 3 hours, tell me you're done for the rest of the day, and you got a lot of spare time. That's perfect. It works practically perfect. So, and I'm not any superhuman, being super productive. I procrastinate a lot, but this one has worked really well. So yeah, setting out your own deadlines way before the actual deadline, and breaking down the tasks and the goals so you can allocate them in the correct moment, correct time. It's a great way of knowing what to do next, and not really making yourself do a lot of things. If this says you do this, and this, you do this and this and this and this. You don't do anything else. Oh, I have to do this. No, this is for tomorrow. Probably I need to put it in the calendar for tomorrow. If it's not in the calendar for today, I don't do that. It's like a simple rule. Restricting. The same way, like you have money restrictions, time restrictions, you restrict yourself to be productive with the things that you write down the moment that you know it's the right thing to do. So when you sleep, you know that this is the right thing to do. I'm pretty sure about it. Tomorrow I'm going to have a lot of doubts because I will want to procrastinate. So now that I know that this is the right thing to do, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to follow it, you know, by letter. So, yeah, this is a good probably answer to your thing. All right, so I'm going to ask you again. Kerry wants to say something. Yes. Hello, Kerry.
This reminds me of. I met some people yesterday. I would do some part-time work with catering people, and the people in the kitchen are amazingly organized in order to get their stuff done. And a woman had this thing that she had to do, and I think it could apply to this sort of thing as well. But she uses Post-it notes, and she has like, okay, we need to have this done by such time because it has to be out for the guests at 7 o'clock. So what do I need to have done for each thing by a certain time? And every time she finishes a task, she pulls it off and sticks it, you know, so she knows that it's done, and it's like it's her little movable version of what you're doing, because it's something that she does every time that she goes. And she goes, oh, I do this at home too. I just keep them because I have the same things that I'm always going to be doing, and I just stick them up on the wall or whatever as I go, and I replace them as needed. But I thought, wow, what a really organized way to go about achieving something, because then you just pull it off the wall. Some people are more tactile. Some people want to do some stuff on a phone, you know, on their calendar on the phone with to-do lists and stuff. But I thought, well, that's really interesting. And I kept coming in and out of the kitchen as things were getting done, and she kept pulling the stuff off. And I'm like, it's a really rewarding way to see that you're actually getting something done. It's almost like you don't even have to have it crossed off the list anymore. It's gone, you know, and you know that it's done. And I'm like, yeah, what a great idea. It's very similar to your little book there, except that it's not, you know, contained, it's stuck on a wall. So it's like a big to-do list, but it's always moving. And I just wanted to add that because I thought it was really a cool thing that she did.
It's a great thing, and I will definitely add this in the essay now that you mentioned it. It's a way of rewarding yourself, you know, the small success, this little task that got completed. The same way, you know, getting half an hour of work done and just crossing out a box, that is a great way of like, yeah, look, you've done progress. It's not that things are still pending. This thing was pending, but now it's not because you've done the work. And you feel great because you're like, oh, 5 out of 6 boxes. That is good. I'm almost done, right? So I think it's a great way, Post-it notes is a great way of just removing something physically, and you know that it feels good because you touch it.
Yeah.
And there was a great method. There was one guy that so he was a stockbroker, and they were asking him like, how did you manage to get rich and productive so fast? And he said, I had 2 boxes. One box with 100 paper clips, and the other one was empty. So I had to make 100 phone calls a day, right? And then whether you got the client or not, that was up to you. The better you were becoming, the more productive it was, and the more rewarding it was. So every day he had to do that. The method of physically removing something, you know, from one box to the other. He was taking a paper clip, okay, 1 phone call is done. 2nd phone call is done. Till he gets all the paper clips from one side to the other. And that's the same with like Post-it notes, you know, you take it, you delete it, you know it's not there, and here is that, what have I done, all the Post-it notes. And you can see that it's rewarding, you know,
Yeah.
So when the one side starts, you know, getting less and less, and the other one gets getting more and more, you're like, I'm doing the good thing, and it's rewarding.
It's a different way of rewarding yourself as opposed to just crossing things off a list, which is what I do as well. I make lists and then I cross stuff off and I like little stars. Yeah, finished, you know. But I mean, whatever works for people. But I thought the Post-it note was really a different way of looking at it. I hadn't thought of it.
Good. I will definitely add it in the essay, and I'll mention you.
Yeah.
Let's go to another thing, another question. So, in terms of bad habits, so I would like you. I think we have around like 20, 25 minutes with the 5 minutes that we started late. Let's say 5 minutes per person. What are your bad habits that you would like to solve in the future? And when each person is done with the 5 minutes mentioning bad habits, I would like every single one of you like quickly thinking about potential solutions. So like mastermind. right? So let's start with John. John, please unmute yourself and tell us what are the bad habits that you have you would like to get better at and solve, and then everybody else, let's start thinking about solutions to John's problems.
Well, let's see. I mentioned one of my bad habits in my earlier segment, and that was my sleep schedule. And so that is something I'm really looking to fix in the future. Like I said, I'm just like Michael. I love to work in the nighttime. I feel peaceful, solitude, creative. At the same time, you kind of you're the flaw. You're lacking kind of a proper sleep cycle, and that's something I look at and I have really difficulty with, because I have kind of a selfish way in a way to say that, like, I want to, when I want to go to bed, I'll go to bed, and when I wake up, I'll do that. I don't have to conform and that kind of thing. And believe me, I resonate with all of you. I have 3 children myself. We have 3 kids. I've talked to Tommy about, we've had discussions about, I've tried for a while to be just an independent musician and not really have a day job that is paying what I need to pay. I've got one girl in college, one girl in a private school, and the financial difficulties with having no money in the bank account, that kind of thing. That's a bad habit I have, is getting overwhelmed with those kind of things, and because we've really extended past like what we can afford, so we're into this kind of minimalism thing now, where we're kind of cutting out the things that we can't use. So I think that that the habit that I'm trying to break there is to actually live within my means, and also prioritize, work on the one. I get overwhelmed, just like I think we've all talked about. There's lots of things going on at the same time. Being able to focus on the one thing. And here's where something kind of I don't know, kind of real here. When I mentioned Trello earlier, that's the same idea as that Post-it note thing. It's a Kanban board, right? It's like you're moving things, but that's online. I am so addicted to working online, and so when I see the the paper and the Post-it note idea, that, like, I really should spend more time in the physical world and using things in the physical world, and I think that would help me be more productive. Some of these tools, because there's something distracting, and I mean, I don't know what it is. There's something about being always in the computer that I can see where that it probably keeps me from it's causing more distraction than it is causing me to focus. Because you start figuring out how to use the tools, and look at these features, and look at that, and you're kind of down a rat hole that way.
No, John, and okay, you can unmute yourselves and you can make a comment about everything that John said. Feel free. Who wants to go next? What would you suggest that John should do to get better? That was my friend.
All right, I'll start. I think that he's got a really good point about, and I've discussed this with other friends of mine, the computer rabbit hole. You say, you're just gonna, I'll just do this and I'll check my email, and then, that leads to one other thing. That's an interesting article that I got from my blog thing that I have that comes into me, and I'll go read that. That's really good. I don't want to miss out on that. And the whole thing with the computer is that it really does suck you in for hours if you don't have a little timer that goes off. And that's another thing that I've come up with, is that I allot myself a certain amount of time to do this when I'm really in the moment of paying attention to how I spend my time. I haven't done that lately because I've had to do a lot of things online, but it is a really good thing to just say, okay, I'm going to give it 15 minutes and put an actual timer on, like a kitchen timer, something physical, not on the computer. I mean, being in the physical world is very rewarding to me. I mean, it's tactile, the writing, and I think that that's something that we start to miss out on. We become too ephemeral with the computer, and you start to lose touch with the reality that we actually do live in it, and because I just think time it. start with timing it, and then also writing lists if you can. You know, you can always go into Trello later and actually put them there. If you allot your, you know, you can write them down and say, okay, this is what I really want to get to, and then just go put them into Trello and then leave instead of sitting there and thinking about it in Trello, because I think that it's really a subtle sucking noise. I can't even begin to explain it. It's very, I don't know. It's this land of computers, and believe me, I'm in the same boat with you. And I've been thinking about ways to get myself out of this, even though we're enjoying the benefits of it right now, right? But you know, anyway, that's enough for me.
This is great about the physical world. Great point. You know, being stuck in the same loophole of the digital world. It's kind of addicting and keeps you in, wants to suck you in. And then at some point, if you stand up, you know, go for a walk, and then take something to record your thoughts. Maybe this way you can start, you know, resetting your mindset. Anybody else? Any questions on John, so we can move to the next person and solve problems? Sarah, Michael, any comments on John's?
Just one thing. I don't know if it's completely related, but I've just my phone just broke. So my beloved smartphone where I can do all these things on it. So and it's been broken for 2 days, and I've been actually thinking about. I don't know. I was like, how do I survive? But I've realized how much extra time I've got now, and I'm actually seriously considering getting a rubbish phone, like just a brick phone with no social media apps, exactly one of those. The only thing is I'm thinking, how do I answer my emails, because my work comes through all the time. So, but that's maybe another thing to think about is the smartphone and other gadgets, and how we relate to them and how much time we spend on them, something like that. But anyway.
Okay.
You can mute me.
I'll mute you. Any comment on on Sarah's remarks about having a crappy phone, you know, fewer distractions, and
I think disconnecting is a really important thing. I go on meditation retreats and we put our phones away for a week. We turn them off. We give them to the person who's organizing the retreat, and no one touches the phone, no one has a computer. We actually disconnect from everything for an entire week or maybe 2. And we still survive. You know, we put it on, we tell people we're away for a certain amount of time, a little autoresponder, you know, and then they know that we're gone, and they don't worry about the fact that maybe we just died in a car crash. But it's a really amazing thing to not be connected. And so maybe you get your email, but you don't put anything else on your phone. I mean, you have to sort of self-regulate at this point. I mean, 5 minutes on Facebook, that's all you get. Boom. I mean, it's sort of like being on a diet. It's about being self-aware, knowing what you want, and regulating your consciousness. Where are you going to put your consciousness now? Are you going to dissipate all your energy by doing all this stuff? And yeah, it's a great thing to come up and realize it. You know, it's just this thing that sucks you away from your real life. I really think that, you know, having your phone break is a revelation. So I can't hear you.
Probably she said, "Yay."
I'm actually very happy about it. You're right.
I wish I did a crappy phone. I mean, because I have to say the camera on this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to get rid of it because the camera is like to die for. I don't have to carry a camera. This is it, you know. But I have to regulate myself. Like, okay, when am I going to go onto social media on the phone? I mean, I think it's a great thing. It died for a minute. Anyway.
Great. Okay. That's a great point that you've made, Kerry. I think it's all about having tools and then finding ways to use these tools to make happen what you want to happen and what your goals are. You know, the tools are not there to dictate how you're going to live. And getting addicted to a tool, any kind of tool, if you get addicted to Post-it notes, then you're fucked. So the thing is about using the right tool for the right thing, whatever works for you. I think phones is a pretty global problem, you know. Addiction to phones and yeah, relying on phones too much, that's a problem. You know, if you rely a lot on one single tool, then you're at its mercy. You know, if I rely too much on Google and at some point Google says bye, then I'm done. The same way. Michael, what are your problems? How can we help you today? Can you unmute yourself? Yes.
Yes, I have. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So one area where I need to work on, I think, is a weakness for me. I have to do something about it. Perhaps your help too would really go a long way. Is in the area of indecisiveness. You know, you have a plan, or I have a plan. Okay, I would love to do this or get this done. The question now is, when should I go ahead and do this? I don't decide too quick or very firmly on issues or things I need to get done. I'm always like, okay, should it be now? Should I wait for later? When is the right time? How do I go about it? You know, I saw something on my, I don't know if you guys know Michael Serwa on his Facebook page today, and he wrote something. In fact, that really gave me a kick. He said, yeah, he used the F word though, but he said, just fucking start. You will figure out all the steps as you go along. You know, I was like, wow, that is deep for me, you know, because that kind of solved my problem. I just need to start, and then along the line, we'll get to know what the issues are, and we'll solve it as we go. You know, not starting, it's a real big issue for me, you know. I'm much of a perfectionist. I always want to get everything set and ready in my head, you know, no mistakes, no error, and then before I go in. So that's an area that's really affecting me badly, and I don't know if you guys can offer some
I
advice.
think
Like
Michael, I think
just did.
this is every artist, you know. We are
Mhm.
perfectionists. I think this is a big problem. You know, like we're not starting because things are not really perfect. And I think this is something I'm eager to hear what everybody has to say on that. But I would just make a remark that starting is one thing that is very difficult. Once you get started, somebody said 50% of success is showing up. So once you do show up, you are there. You know, you've started. Then it's all about keep going. And I think this is the second biggest obstacle is about consistency. How do you keep consistent work coming in? After a while, you're like, oh, I cannot keep doing that. I cannot. You know, you cannot push the boundaries because you haven't reached them because you want to stop. So it's about that. One, how do you get started? So from the theoretical world of the idea to the practical world of making something tangible happen. And number two, how do you keep going? How do you stay motivated? Do you need to have a mentor, somebody that will hear you? For example, me having an audience is a great motivation because I know that if I stay idle for a while, people will just be like, oh, I don't bother what Tommy has to say because I don't know, he's not consistent. He's not there when I expect to read him, you know, like once, twice a month. But I do the work because I know somebody's waiting for me. That's a great way. Once you start getting an audience, whether you're a musician, a writer, a mentor, then you know somebody wants to hear from you, and that's about having accountability to someone, and that's a lot of people. So, okay, that's my point of view. What do you beautiful people have to say on that? John, what about getting started?
Well, that makes me think of the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and
Can you write in the
and
chat, please?
oh yeah, and it's a great book. It's like one of those the life-changing books. Now I'm not even sure how to spell his name, but it's Eckhart Tolle, I
I'm going to
believe.
add these books, by the way. 3 books so far. I'm going to add them on the notes, on the description.
It's just an amazing, dense book. I really recommend getting the audio book and using the physical book as a guide. But one of the big things is about if not now, when? Everything happens in the now. It's an ancient idea, but it's still something. Just lets you know that when you're thinking, when you're trying to get everything perfect, get everything planned. I do that. I sit there and I'm planning. I get great ideas. I'm writing them down, and then I'm thinking about what I should do, and I'm overwhelmed with all these things. And then it's like it really has a lot of helpful, I guess, kind of perspectives, and some of them are kind of cosmic almost, but just about that you've got this one moment right now, and if you're in this moment, you're not procrastinating. You're just going to take action right now, and it's just that idea. Like if I'm sitting here right now and I'm putting all these kind of things in front of me that are not what I really know in my deepest heart that I'm supposed to be doing, that I want to do. Really, what it is for me is not, even with all the family things I mentioned, and those things are I want to be with my family. I want to be doing things. Like I have so many things that I want to do them all, and I have that perspective. It's almost like a positivity thing where I realize I don't have a whole lot of things in my life that are, there's really nothing in my life that's put upon me that I must do, that I'm forced to do. Everything is down to my choices and my perspectives, and that just really helps me to just realize that there's I've got one moment right now. I got one moment, and what am I going to do with this moment? I'm going to, get it done. I'm gonna take care of what I need to take care of. That kind of helps me. And for me, it's a struggle. I like kind of circle around that moment and then finally get there. But I got the same exact thing. As I'm a perfectionist, and so I really like the ideas that you're talking about. All of you, Carrie and talking about timing and scheduling, and Michael, you mentioned that as well. I think that's something that probably really helps you. Like if you set your own deadlines, that's something I'm going to try. So I imagine that's probably similar with you. And the ideas of the restrictions. If you have children, if you have other responsibilities, and you've kind of got 1 hour to work, make the most of it.
It's what you're saying, John, and I mentioned it in the essay as well, is about living by default and living by design. I think procrastination, it makes you live by default, as if there is a boss telling you, you do that, you do that. While what you're saying that is you have choices, and we all have choices, and we all have the choice to live by design, to eventually design how our schedule is going to be like, what we're going to do next, and what the priority is, because the priority is started as a word in singular, not priorities. That was the Industrial Revolution that eventually made it priorities, and as if we could bend reality by pluralizing, a word that is supposed to be one, the first thing, the priority. So eventually it's about living by design, by writing down what you need to do next, and creating your own lifestyle. It's about making this very simple realization that you have the choice. We're not being chased. We don't have lions in our neighborhood. We're not being bombed. We're free. We have internet. We can talk. We have all these choices, and we make our lives eventually. And living by design is about finding out what you have to do next and just doing it and being productive with it. And then you have a whole lot of time to do whatever else you want. And this very simple thing is great for me since I started thinking this way, like, wow, I do have the choice. And when I wake up in the morning and I feel like I want to sleep more, yeah, I have the choice. Do I sleep more, or do I do what I have to do and what will bring me forward? Okay, no, I don't want to sleep. I'm going to make the choice to do what I have to do. And eventually that is a very refreshing thing.
I want to say one more thing too about that. That just reminded me what you just said about that. That's another thing from this book, The Power of Now. It is the idea of I just lost my train of thought. What did you just say? I totally lost my train.
I just said about living by design, live by default.
Living by default, yeah.
Having the choices.
Yeah. It just lost me. Yeah, I don't know.
In the neighborhood.
I feel like that Republican debater that just lost it, like what he was going to say about the. that thing. Yeah, well, yes, but it's the idea that you're completely conscious in every moment. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. I got it. I got it. All right. That every moment, every now that you have right now, and how you use that, that is gonna create your future. Like, you shouldn't worry about the future. You worry about what you're doing right now to take you to the places you want to go, but don't keep your mind cast into the future with worry or even ambition too much. It's like, in your real heart, this book talks about that, like your true self, the part of you that's observing yourself actually, with all these anxieties and fears and worry. There's actually the real you, the I am. That idea that you're watching yourself, and you know what you want to do and what you're put here to do in many ways, and what you love to do, and every moment you spend right now, that's going to construct, that like what Tommy said, that design. So that's that's what that book's all about, is this moment right now.
I really like it. We're getting very deep here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now we're about to hit 1 hour, and I want to keep it like 1 hour sharp, so it can be quite digestible. So we'd like to close this hangout with every single one of you just giving us one very quick takeaway from the whole conversation, something you realize now, something that you would like to share with the world, a very quick one. If you had a couple of sentences to say what the best takeaway is, what would it be? Let's start with Sarah.
All right,
Yep.
a takeaway. Oh my God, you hit me with that one. I think the thing that I like, it just reminded me of a lot of things that I know, but I need to actually take more on board, and that I really need to focus on what I need to do in order to get where I want to be. Whether it's some of it earning money through my day job, and some of it's just sitting down and filling out those funding forms and things like that, and yeah, just doing the next step, which, yeah, I just know these things, but I need to sort of organize them better and schedule them better. Yeah, that's in a messy nutshell.
Doing not just the things that you want to do and it's fun to do, but the things that you have to do as well.
In order to be where I want to be.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Right, thank you, Sarah. Michael, what is your takeaway? Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, my takeaway: living by design. I think that's one powerful statement there. Yeah, you know, it's when you say we have a choice to make, it's something that we do. We are not conscious of that. We actually have to make a choice that, hey, this is what we need. It's like we live our life like somebody has actually programmed it somewhere, and. But as you mentioned that, it just crossed my mind like, yes, we have a choice to make. We have to live by the way we design our own life. I think that covers a lot, how you want your life to be lived. And I think that's one big takeaway for me, because I know henceforth, whatever decision I make, if I don't get things done, it's me. It's nobody's problem. I don't blame anyone for it. I make the decision myself, and I take the blame for it. But more often than not, I should always try and make a decision to plan my life and get things done. Not just planning, but also getting up and getting things done.
Exactly. That is a great thing. It was Yossi Sassi that is also part of the patrons, and in one of his talks, he actually said that, okay, there are so many unpredictable things in the world, just deal with it. Too many things that we cannot control, and that's fine. What you can control is your approach and your own decisions. So if you do what you have to do, you're not going to worry about all the unpredictable things, because they're unpredictable by definition. Okay, Kerry, your turn. What is your takeaway?
Well, the concept that you design your life is very precise. I like that. It says it all. It takes our position in our life and gives us responsibility for it, rather than just going along in an unconscious way, just reacting to whatever's happening to us. And I really like that. And a friend of mine has said for years, and it's very succinct, and you can apply it to this whole thing that we've been discussing, which is you have to ask yourself every day, what's the most important thing? And you said that it isn't about priorities, it's a priority. What is the most important thing in any situation in your life? What is the most important thing in your life? And if you take that position, you can ask that recurringly in any situation about anything, and then take the next appropriate step. And it's about taking responsibility and designing your own life in that light. And I think that it's very rewarding, and you don't have to be hung up on being perfect then. You're going to come up with rewards by actually having something to show for your efforts. It may not be perfect. It may not be completely, formed, but you're going to learn from that, and you can move to the next step. And art is never finished. You're just done. You don't finish anything. You just decide that, okay, I'm done with this, and you put it down, and then you go to the next thing, and you don't go, well, but, and keep reworking it. I mean, you're just going to destroy the thing. It is beauty in its essence. So just what is the most important thing, and that's what I'm going to leave you with.
I love that. Artists are never finished. They're just done. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Carrie. And that was very motivational as well. I think I'm gonna take this clip, for a few seconds and post it on the website. That was great. John, okay, you got the last word, the final famous last words of this chat. What is your takeaway?
Oh, wow. Well, I have to say my first takeaway is that there's some awesome people in the world, and we're all very similar, and it's cool to just meet some random people this morning and share, like, wow, how we all, thinking that's the same about the same things, and that's what you're doing here, Tommy. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, just by practical takeaways, or the idea, like Carrie said, about scheduling short, tiny amounts of of real focused work. I think that's where I really kind of I got an echo now, but I kind of fall down is with setting the deadlines. I love that idea, setting shorter deadlines than actually exist. I kind of have a pile of stuff, and I'm still, too much choice. We have choices, and it's like, well, okay, I think I'm going to work on that. All right, this is kind of feeling urgent to me or something, and instead of kind of like, I like what you're saying, Tommy, about the day before almost, you've got your plan right there about what you're going to work on, and the idea of what Carrie said, the most important thing. What is the most important thing? I love, that's my takeaways. I love all that, and I also like the ideas about these things that seem like obligations and restrictions and all that are stopping you. You can turn that around and make it like, so this is actually going to make me more focused on what I need to do. That's going to help me with distraction and procrastination.
Perfect. Really great summaries and really great takeaways. Kay just joined. Kay, we're about to hang up, so sorry about not giving you the chance to talk. We'll just recap the whole thing. And I see there is 4 people watching at the same time without participating. Sorry about that. So, okay, that's great takeaways. I've kept a lot of notes. Sarah is laughing. I'm so bad I cannot hear you laugh, but that's okay. So we have 3 books that were mentioned in the chat. One by Carrie, one by John, one by Greg. The Stalkers, yes. Dark Music Stalkers. And basically what's going to happen now once I hit stop broadcast, this thing is going to be uploaded on YouTube, so you can watch everything again, keep your notes, see what's been said. I'm going to try to add as many things as possible in the description so we can see these takeaways. And VSA, as I said, but in the beginning of next month, is going to be about productivity. I'm going to include some of the nice things that were said today, if possible. And really, thanks for everyone for being here. I know Google can be a little bit weird. Some people want to come, but I don't know if they received the invitations. I invited too many people too many times, and I hope they got everything. And we're gonna meet again next month. We're gonna have a chat, like this. So if you can go on Patreon, on my page, and write and suggest a topic that you would like to discuss for next month. I would just like to say that John is in Sacramento in California at the moment, and it's really early in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning. Kay, who just joined, is in Athens, Greece. Kerry, where are you at, actually?
I'm in Somerville, Massachusetts, across the river from Boston.
Okay, so Massachusetts is where Kerry is. Michael is in Finland, and Sarah is in London, and I'm in Manchester. So that's an amazing thing. We've got so many time zones covered. Really lovely things. We're going to hang out now. I'm going to hit stop broadcast, and everything will start getting uploaded. Thank you for participating. Thank you for your insights, for your takeaways. I hope it was useful, and we're going to speak very soon. Ciao.